What happens when your championship dreams die on one pitch? When everything you've built, everything you've fought for, evaporates in a single devastating moment. The Toronto Blue Jays know that agony intimately. They lived it, they breathed it, and now they're desperately trying to ensure they never experience it again. Game 7, World Series. One strike away from glory, and then collapse. Jeff Hoffman, the man entrusted with protecting Toronto's championship aspirations, crumbled under the brightest lights baseball has to offer. The Los Angeles Dodgers celebrated while Blue Jays players stood frozen in disbelief, watching the trophy that should have been theirs get handed to someone else. That wasn't just a blown save. That was organizational trauma. That was the kind of failure that haunts franchises for decades if they don't respond correctly. Here's what separates championship organizations from pretenders: how they respond to devastating failure. Do they make excuses? Do they run it back with the same flawed roster? Or do they attack their weaknesses with ruthless aggression? Toronto chose violence. The Blue Jays didn't tiptoe into the offseason. They kicked down the door with a thunderous 7-year, $210 million commitment to Dylan Cease. That's not, let's see what happens money. That's championship or bust money. That's ownership finally declaring to the baseball world, we're done being the team that almost made it. We want the damn trophy. Cease gives Toronto a legitimate ace, a pitcher who can dominate lineups for 7 innings, who can go toe-to-toe with any starter in baseball. But here's the brutal, uncomfortable truth that keeps Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro awake at night. What good is 7 dominant innings when the 8th and 9th become a horror show? You can build the most impenetrable fortress in baseball, but if you leave the back door wide open, you're still getting invaded. That's exactly what happened in the World Series. Toronto's starters did their job. The offense produced, but when it mattered most, when the game was on the line, the bullpen imploded. According to explosive reporting from MLB insiders Ken Rosenthal and Katie Wu at The Athletic, the Blue Jays have been aggressively pursuing multiple high-leverage relievers this offseason. This isn't casual window shopping. This is a franchise on a mission to completely overhaul the unit that cost them a championship. But here's where the story gets frustrating, even infuriating for Blue Jays faithful. Toronto has already struck out on 3 significant targets, and each miss stings worse than the last. Ryan Helsley? Gone. The Cardinals' former closer, one of the most dominant 9th-inning arms in baseball, reportedly agreed to a $28 million deal with the Baltimore Orioles. Let that sink in. A division rival just snatched up one of the premier closers on the market, simultaneously strengthening their own bullpen while blocking Toronto's path to improvement. The Orioles, already a formidable opponent, just got scarier in late innings. Raisel Iglesias? Signed elsewhere. Another elite arm off the board. Phil Maton? Gone too. The Blue Jays are watching closer after closer disappear from the market, like items vanishing from a clearance rack. Each missed opportunity increases the pressure exponentially. This isn't just about adding talent anymore. This is about salvaging an offseason strategy that's starting to look shaky. This is about proving to a fan base that watched their championship dreams die that management learned from October's catastrophic failure. The pressure is mounting. The options are dwindling. And the ghosts of Game 7 are getting louder. With Helsley off the board, Toronto has pivoted to another intriguing target, Pete Fairbanks, the Tampa Bay Rays closer. And if that name makes Blue Jays fans' blood pressure spike, there's excellent reason. Fairbanks isn't just any available closer. He's a pitcher who has absolutely tortured Toronto throughout his career. In 27 career innings against the Blue Jays, Fairbanks has held their hitters to an embarrassing .130 batting average. Read that again. .130, that's not just effective pitching. That's complete and utter domination. That's psychological warfare. That's making professional hitters look like they're swinging pool noodles. This past season, Fairbanks posted a 2.83 ERA with 59 strikeouts across more than 60 innings for Tampa Bay. Those are solid numbers, but they don't capture the full story. What makes Fairbanks particularly appealing isn't just his overall performance. It's his proven track record in high-leverage situations and his demonstrated ability to shut down Toronto's lineup specifically. Think about the strategic brilliance here. The Blue Jays aren't just looking for any closer. They're targeting a pitcher who has repeatedly made their own hitters look foolish. If you can't beat him, sign him. Turn your tormentor into your savior. It's a classic baseball power move, and it makes perfect sense given Toronto's desperate need for reliable late-inning performance. According to Rosenthal and Wu, both the Blue Jays and Miami Marlins are among the teams showing interest in Fairbanks. But let's be brutally honest here. Miami isn't in championship or bust mode. Toronto absolutely is. The Blue Jays have significantly more urgency, more financial flexibility after the Cease signing, and more motivation to overpay if necessary. They came within one strike of a championship. They're not going to let budget concerns prevent them from addressing their most glaring weakness. Here's where the analysis gets deeper, where we separate surface-level takes from genuine understanding of modern bullpen construction. Yes, Toronto needs a closer. That's obvious, but as Keegan Matheson astutely noted for MLB.com, the bullpen issues extend far beyond just the ninth inning. Jeff Hoffman remains in the closer role for now, though one has to wonder about his mental state after that World Series implosion. Can he recover psychologically? Can he regain the confidence needed to close out tight games? Those are legitimate questions without clear answers. Luis Frias provides high-powered setup work, but the Zach Pop/Anthony Bonder role needs replacement, and the overall depth remains questionable at best. Here's the reality that championship teams understand. Modern bullpens require multiple elite arms. You need a closer, yes, but you also need a shutdown setup man, a high-leverage lefty specialist, and multiple reliable middle relievers who can bridge from the starter to the late innings without hemorrhaging runs. One pitcher, even an elite closer, doesn't solve everything. That's why the Blue Jays' pursuit of Fairbanks shouldn't be viewed in isolation. It's part of a broader strategy to completely overhaul the bullpen that failed them when it mattered most. Expect Toronto to add multiple arms before spring training, not just one marquee closer. The market still offers intriguing options beyond Fairbanks. Edwin Diaz, despite his injury history, remains one of baseball's most electric closers when healthy. Devin Williams brings a devastating changeup that makes hitters look silly. Robert Suarez offers power stuff with closer experience. The Blue Jays have options, but time is ticking. Each day that passes sees another potential target sign elsewhere, and the pool of available elite relievers shrinks. Let's talk about something that doesn't show up in statistics or scouting reports: the psychological weight of failure. That Game 7 collapse wasn't just a loss. It was organizational trauma that will haunt this franchise until they win it all. Every pitcher who takes the mound in the ninth inning next season will carry that burden. Every close game in the late innings will trigger flashbacks to that devastating moment when everything fell apart. Adding a proven closer like Fairbanks isn't just about improving performance metrics. It's about changing the narrative. It's about giving the clubhouse confidence that when they hand over a lead in the ninth inning, it's actually safe. It's about erasing the doubt that crept into everyone's mind when Hoffman imploded on baseball's biggest stage. Championship teams have short memories for failure and long memories for success. The Blue Jays need to create new memories, new moments of triumph in high-pressure situations. They need to replace the image of Hoffman's blown save with images of a new closer pumping his fist after recording the final out of a playoff victory. Mental scars are real in baseball. They affect performance. They affect decision-making. They affect confidence. Toronto needs to heal those wounds, and the only way to do that is by building a bullpen that inspires confidence rather than anxiety. Here's the uncomfortable truth that Blue Jays management must confront head-on. Their championship window is open right now, but it won't stay open forever. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette are entering their prime years, but both will hit free agency soon. The core that came so close to winning, it all won't stay together indefinitely. This roster, This collection of talent has a shelf life. That's why the $210 million commitment to Cease makes sense. And it's why overpaying for a closer like Fairbanks would also make sense. This isn't the time for financial prudence. This isn't the moment to worry about luxury tax implications or long-term payroll flexibility. This is the time to push all the chips to the center of the table and go for it. The American League East remains brutally competitive. The Orioles just added Helsley, making their bullpen even more formidable. The Yankees are always dangerous with their financial resources and star power. The Rays, even with a smaller payroll, consistently compete and find ways to win. Toronto can't afford to stand pat while their rivals improve. They can't afford another season of bullpen uncertainty. They can't afford to waste another year of their core's prime. The window is open now, but windows close fast in baseball. So, what's the final analysis here? Are the Blue Jays acting out of desperation, frantically trying to patch the hole that sank their championship hopes? Or are they showing the kind of determined, aggressive approach that championship organizations require? The answer is both, and that's exactly what this moment demands. Yes, there's desperation. How could there not be after watching a World Series slip away due to bullpen failure? But there's also calculated determination, a clear-eyed assessment of what went wrong, and a willingness to spend whatever it takes to fix it. The pursuit of Pete Fairbanks represents more than just adding another arm to the bullpen. It represents Toronto's commitment to learning from failure, to addressing weaknesses head-on, and to doing whatever it takes to get back to the World Series and finish the job this time. Will Fairbanks be the answer? Will he be the closer who finally gives Toronto the late-inning security they desperately need? Or will the Blue Jays miss out on him too, watching another target sign elsewhere while their bullpen questions remain unanswered? The offseason is far from over, but the clock is ticking. Every day that passes without a significant bullpen addition is another day that October's ghosts haunt the organization. The Blue Jays came excruciatingly close to glory. One strike away, one pitch away, one moment away from championship parades and eternal franchise glory. Now, they're hunting for the missing pieces that will finally push them over the top. One thing is absolutely certain: Toronto isn't backing down. They're not retreating after falling short. They're reloading, refocusing, and preparing for another championship run. Whether that run ends in triumph or heartbreak may well depend on which relievers they add in the coming weeks. The bullpen that cost them a championship must be rebuilt. The ninth-inning nightmares must end, and Pete Fairbanks might just be the first step toward redemption. What's your take? Is Pete Fairbanks the missing piece Toronto needs, or should they be targeting someone else entirely? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's debate this. And if you want more exclusive Blue Jays coverage as this off-season drama continues to unfold, smash that like button and let me know you're invested in this championship chase.